Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Municipal Council meeting combined session of Wednesday, June 12th. Everybody, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Coyle. Councilmember Deal.
Here.
Councilmember Gomez.
Here.
Councilmember Joshi.
Present.
Councilmember Lombardi. Councilmember Patil. Councilmember Sandelsky.
Here.
Adequate notice, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by an annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, and the Sentinel on December 1st, 2018, and posted main lobby municipal complex on that same date.
Thank you. We're going to do the review of the minutes, meeting of May 8th and May 14th. Any comments? Better? Okay, moving on to the administrative agenda from Mayor Thomas Lanke, resolutions A and B. Any questions in that? I'm sorry, no, appointments from Mayor Thomas Lanke, A and B. Any questions on that? Reports from all council committees, starting from my right, Councilman Deal.
Only that the Committee of the Whole meeting that was originally scheduled for June 27th is now rescheduled for Monday, July 8th. That's Monday, July 8th for the new Committee of the Whole meeting. That's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Joshi.
None, sir.
Councilman Sandelsky.
None, sir.
Thank you. I have none. Okay, moving on to points of light. Just want to take a moment to thank everybody who participated in the primary elections. It's always a lot of work, but most importantly, it's encouraging to see so many people come out, work, and work for a greater cause. So I want to take a moment to congratulate those who were victorious and moving on to the general elections. And best of luck, everyone. Thank you. Any other points of light?
Yes, Council President, I'd just like to make note that I would like to congratulate Officers Michael and Lisa Semino. While they were off duty last week, they helped apprehend a porch pirate. And they got the rest of the squad involved, so we should be proud of our officers off duty. They're still looking to protect people of Edison, so that's a wonderful thing, and let's give them a shout out for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving on to the administrative portion of the agenda. We have resolutions A through D from the business administrator. Any questions on that? Moving on to the Department of Finance, resolutions A through K. Any questions on that? From the Department of Health, resolutions A and B. Department of Law, resolutions A through C. From the Department of Planning and Engineering, resolutions A through D. From the Department of Public Works, resolutions A through D. From the Chief of Fire, resolutions A and B. Okay. From the council member of the Planning Board.
Yes, Council President. There was no meeting. Our next meeting is Monday, June 17th.
Thank you, sir. And then one resolution from the Township Clerk, Resolution A. Any questions on that? Okay, moving on to discussion items. Councilman Deal.
None, sir.
Councilman Joshi.
Yes, I'd like to go last.
Okay. Councilman Sandelsky.
None, sir.
Okay. There you go, sir.
Council President, a few weeks ago, I asked for the work of Jaffe Communications. I asked the work that Jaffe Communications has done for the township. It was brought to light by another resident. I was given a 28-page report containing links to articles that have made the news and 7 bullet points citing their media relations objectives. The scope of the work completed also noted that they have distribution lists with 43 different media outlets. I've confirmed for a fact that several of those media outlets listed have no relationship with Jaffe Communications at all whatsoever. In general, I understand the mayor has the right to pick whichever PR firm he wants. My issue, however, is the fact that this particular PR firm has caused more problems and caused more animosity within Town Hall and in the township, at the township's and the taxpayers' expenses. On one hand, they're contracted to defend or send positive messages about the township. On the other hand, they're used by political campaigns to send out negative mailers about the township and township personnel. So at taxpayers' expense, it's asked to solve the same problems it essentially creates. Now, I don't fault the firm, Jaffe Communications, for being a business wanting to make money, but I challenge the ethics for us allowing this to continue. And I don't want it to continue. Why should we, as a governing body, allow this to continue, considering the fact that taxpayers want their dollars to be spent on positive, proactive work? They want to be proud of Edison. We need to be better as a governing body in holding scenarios such as this accountable. This brings me to my next point. When there's no accountability, there is no trust left. And when this happens, it fosters a hostile work environment where there are no checks or balances left. It's come to my attention that the Director of Public Works has made absolutely unacceptable comments about an active, decorated Air Force Master Sergeant that also serves in our police department. At its core, the comment questioned the sergeant's integrity of military service and whether dual compensation from both the military and the police department was acceptable. Unequivocally, my answer is a resounding and an absolute yes. Our society does not do enough for military personnel or our veterans. We all know active military personnel hardly gets compensated. Master Sergeant Tingle has an excellent and flawless record that we should be proud of here in Edison. And he's the exact type of police officer that we need more of in this town. For those who may not know, the mayor is the only person in this entire township that has the ability to hire or fire anyone. Nevertheless, I seek and also ask the mayor to demand the resignation of his public works director. This comment was not protected by the First Amendment. The code of conduct for employees was violated. I looked through the code of conduct for employees. The code of conduct in employees, and I will quote this, in Edison's employee handbook states under section Y of specific social networking that employees do not have unfettered First Amendment rights. Employees can be disciplined for commentary or unprofessional content that casts the township or its officials and staff in a false light or creates a hostile work environment. That is what I am seeking to address today. What you say online, and this is a quote directly from the township's manual, what you say online can potentially be grounds for disciplinary action, including termination. The director should be concerned about our infrastructure, our roads, utilities, and parks. He has no business at all whatsoever being involved with personnel from another department. especially one who is decorated and has a flawless record. If there's any council member who agrees with any part of what I have said, I will gladly make a motion for a resolution seeking the contractual termination or resignation of both Jaffe Communications as well as the Director of Public Works. Now, I'm not sure if any council member wants to speak up. I understand if they don't, but there are two council people, noticeably in my opinion, not present tonight. And I want to quote what they have said. "We stand with Officer Tingle. The savage and baseless and false attacks against law enforcement, an individual who also serves in our military, it's really shameful. He should resign," said Councilman Ajay Patil. And Councilman Coyle, in his own words, stated, "I strongly question Mr. Russomanno's judgment, and I think he should resign. But if he doesn't, then the council should act to remove him immediately." The reason why I'm pointing this out tonight is because words matter. What you say matters. And accountability and trust make a huge difference in this township and everywhere in government. I don't know why Councilman Coyle and Ajay Patil are not here tonight, but I believe they knew that I was going to address this. So I look forward to hearing their response as well. Thank you.
Councilman Lombardi, we're in discussion items. Anything that you'd like to add?
None at this time, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we are moving on to the regular meeting. We have the approval of the minutes for regular meeting May 8th and May 14th. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have the approval of the volunteer firefighters. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I will forego President's remarks. Moving on to the administrative agenda. We have a... Okay.
On the appointments and reappointments, I thought we would, yeah. Take them separately. But we could take them separately, A and B.
Right. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the administrative agenda, but we're doing separately the mayor's appointment. So we have Resolution A and Resolution B. We're going to do a separate vote for that.
We need a motion to approve. So moved. Appointment A, reappointment of Andrew Toth as Emergency Management Coordinator.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution B, appointment of Harish Verma as Deputy Emergency Management Coordinator.
Motion.
Council President, I'd like to make a comment prior to this.
Okay.
I'm not going to be supporting this appointment tonight, and I want to explain why. I happen to like this candidate. I think he's a good man. But what I don't understand is this person happens to be in, I believe, the permits or zoning department, and he's doing a great job there. This candidate right now has racked in significant amounts of money for the township. He's doing a great job. But in terms of management and execution, when you want to see someone grow, you leave them there and give them whatever access they need to grow as a person or a candidate, an employee within a certain department. Having this guy, who in my opinion probably does not have the qualifications to be deputy of emergency management coordinator, it sets this candidate up to fail. And not just that, more importantly, it sends a message to the rest of Town Hall that irrespective of how hard or how much you may be qualified for a certain position, such as deputy of OEM, you may not get it because there's someone else in line. And that's the problem I have. So I can't vote for this in good conscience.
Maureen, in reference to Councilman Joshi's comments, I know this is a mayor's appointment. Do you have anything?
I can just tell you that the mayor made this appointment believing it is good to have a civilian with background similar to this candidate, and that Mr. Harish has the technical and engineering experience that the mayor thinks will complement the existing capabilities of the OEM office.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a motion, and we need a second. Okay. Guess I'll second it. Okay. Do we need to do a roll call? All in favor?
Aye.
It's not in favor, then you got to do a roll call.
Councilmember Deal.
No.
Councilmember Joshi.
No.
Councilmember Lombardi.
Yes.
Councilmember Sandelsky.
No.
Council President Gomez.
Yes.
Motion fails. Okay, moving on to new business. Proposed ordinance. Actually, clerk, read by title, please.
This ordinance amends the Edison Township Code to revise and update the 2019 per-gallon water rates the township charges residential and non-residential users for the discharge of normal discharge domestic sewer and the rates charged significant industrial users of the township sewer system.
Thank you.
Council President,
Yes, sir.
I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration, and public hearing set down for Wednesday, June 26, 2019.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Oh, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes for introduction?
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lombardi.
Yes.
Councilmember Sandelsky.
Yes.
Council President Gomez.
Yes. Okay, moving on to the public comments on the resolutions.
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
Resolutions only? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hi, Maria Orchid, 83 Jefferson. I just wanted to know, why do we need an increase for the sewer charges? What propelled that we needed and changed the rate?
That's not on the resolutions.
During the public portion?
You can come back on the public
Okay.
portions, yeah. Anybody else in the resolutions?
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any resolutions to be pulled? I'll start from my right. Councilman Dio.
None, sir.
Councilman Joshi.
None, sir.
Councilman Lombardi.
None, sir.
Councilman Sandelsky.
None, sir.
Okay, and I do not have any. Motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved?
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lombardi.
Yes.
Councilmember Sandelsky.
Yes.
Council President Gomez.
Yes. Okay, moving on to oral petitions and remarks. I'm going off the list. Maria Orchid.
Hi, Maria Orchid, 83 Jefferson. I'd like to know why the rates would increase for the sewer charges.
Go ahead, Maria.
It's the budget that we're putting together for 2019. Well, at the
And-
public hearing, we'll have the whole budget to present,
When's the public hearing scheduled?
the 26th. It's the next meeting.
June 26th. Okay. Just want to let you know the Clara Barton Neighborhood Preservation Committee will have their next meeting tomorrow. Everyone is welcome to join us at the Clara Barton First Aid Squad. We expect a robust crowd, and we'd like everybody to come and see what's going on. Coming up, Edison High project graduation is next Friday, June 21st. We need volunteers. We're looking for any parent support and any food and money donations. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, off the list. Still on the list, I'm sorry. Anthony Diamarin.
Anthony Diamarin, 15 Rodex Circle. First off, I want to thank Councilman Joshi for standing up to our local hero. That's unbelievable. Just to remind everybody, that's the second incident now in the last several weeks that we had our DPW director make very bad comments, I'll just leave it at that, towards 2 police officers. So thank you, Councilman Joshi. Also, I just want to remind everybody, this is, I know I brought this up months ago. This is another example of having a council meeting and a school board meeting on the same night. I think going forward, we got to do a better job of trying to organize the meetings on separate nights. We're going Facebook Live right now, so thank God that people are able to watch or watch now or watch at a later time. But it's just not fair. There's important issues going on in the town. There's important issues going on at the Board of Ed, and I think it's important that transparency is our top priority. And by doing that going forward, scheduling it would be beneficial for all residents. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Keith Hahn.
Elizabeth Hahn, 81 Fairview Avenue. Good evening, gentlemen. I came before you a few weeks ago at the last council meeting. I had expressed serious concerns about vicious, evil, lie-filled mailers, flyers, and social media posts put out by several sitting council members and their people during political campaigns attacking my husband, Keith Hahn. Keith was not running for any office, nor is he an elected official. He is a police officer, a detective assigned with the Juvenile Division. I'm here tonight in hopes that my issues will be addressed now that the election is passed, that you take responsibility and apologize for what was put out, terminate the contract with Jaffe Communications, also known as Skyway Strategies, and hold Anthony Russomanno accountable for his actions. Since the last meeting, Mr. Russomanno embarrassed the town even further by attacking another police officer, Dave Tingle, who is also a decorated Air Force reservist, on social media. The despicable incident made local news. Thousands of people all around the tri-state area saw just what a liar and how evil this man can be. It is my understanding that he has not been disciplined in any way. He has been at work and has told numerous people it will blow over. I feel, along with numerous other residents, that if you would have addressed these issues when I was here last time, instead of sitting silent and hiding behind the township attorney that night I came before you, that Dave's incident would have never happened, and maybe the outcome of your election would have been different. The election is passed. Some of you have lost your seats. You're going to leave a legacy behind. You can do the right thing, have some integrity, leave these chambers with your head held high, or you can sit there silent and let the attorney speak for you and leave here with your heads down in shame. I would hope, for the sake of every township employee who has to work in such a toxic environment, for every resident you disappointed by sitting silent, for my family who has been viciously attacked for several years now, for the Tingle family who was just viciously attacked, but most importantly for your families and for you, that you choose to do what's right. You take responsibility and apologize, terminate the contract with Jaffe Communications, and hold Mr. Russomanno accountable. Remember this. All you have in life is your name. You choose how you would like it to be thought of and remembered. Thank you.
Next on the list is Frank Bardecker.
Frank Bardecker, 77 Alexander Street. I work for the DPW. Since July of 18, I filed numerous formal complaints and grievances. None of these have been brought to conclusion. I come before you to ask you, what would be the normal time frame for a formal complaint and a grievance within the municipality of Edison? And if any of you can help.
Council members won't be able to comment on personnel matters. I don't know if the attorney has anything that.
Yeah, unfortunately, council can't comment. I would advise them not to comment. It's hard for us to comment as to how long an investigation should take, can take. But regardless, to comment on personnel it's not appropriate and exposes the town to liability.
Okay.
So I know it's not a satisfying answer for you, but that's the only answer I can give you.
All right. But I'd also like to bring to your attention that we've had 3 legal firms bring this investigation, and it's costing the taxpayers money every time, and you guys vote for that, for these bills. And just like to bring it to your attention again, that this has been going on since July, 3 attorneys, and no conclusion. I just look forward to bring this to conclusion and have an enjoyable work at my position. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. John Robertson.
John Robertson, 24 Morse Avenue, Edison, New Jersey. I just want to back up with what Franklin Bardecker has been brought to your attention right now. We've been waiting over 10 months for any kind of outcome. Now, that's just my personal amount of time that has gone by, that no one has done anything about the stuff that has been going on. Multiple complaints have been put in, and no one has done nothing, okay? There's others out here that have been sitting waiting over a year that have heard nothing. Attorney after attorney. The last attorney that I spoke to, guess what? They lost my paperwork. So now I got to go through all my stuff all over again. This is a cover-up over and over again. You've been putting it off, and we have been getting beat up by the Director of Public Works, and I'm going to read. You don't have to mention a word. I'm going to read. This is my work order, okay? If this isn't enough for somebody to bring to their attention, okay, this says, John R., what are you, the fantastic Nazi? Okay? Are you serious? Are you serious? This is the kind of stuff, and then I get beat up on a everyday basis. So you can all sit there being quiet about what's going on, but I'm not going to put up with it no more. I'm telling you right now, I've been through every channel here to make these things come to light, and the way we've been treated, the DPW workers, they're out here, and they've been beaten up too, very viciously. And I would ask you all to make it stop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we're off the list. We're off the list. Any other comments?
I got comments.
You may come up to the podium.
Move up. God bless Officer Tingle. Amen. Yes.
Name and address, please.
That's not important. I'm an Edison resident.
Sir, for the record.
14 Fox Road, Edison, New Jersey.
Name
732 exit 9.
What's your name, sir?
Cristo. Where's Rusamano? Is Officer? Where's this guy Rusamano? I want to know where he is.
He's not here.
Which one of you are him?
He's not here tonight, sir.
Because he's a coward. Where's that guy that's supposed to sit in that seat? What's his name?
It's Councilman Patil.
Yeah, the person who was renting from his home was sending flyers so they don't vote for the white Republican man. I don't like that. They're calling other people in this town Nazis. I don't like that. I don't like any of you neither. You don't get voted for unless you do dirty shit.
Sir, please watch your language.
I'm just saying the truth. I'm just saying the truth. How can you guys talk bad for Officer Tingle, and I can't come up here and say the truth? Rusomano should be here. Well, that's all I have to say. God bless Officer Tingle.
Sir? Anybody else?
I got a YouTube channel, and I'm going to find Officer Rusomano and that guy Cesar Suarez that he's been protecting all this time. Your attorneys can't protect them any longer.
Anybody else? Oral petitions and remarks. Did I have a motion to close? Oh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bonnie Reeves. I'm not from Edison Township. I'm from Milton. I am a mother of a veteran. I am a girlfriend of a veteran. I've known Dave Tingle for quite a few years. I think it's very disrespectful of Mr. Rusomano to make these comments about a man that is currently serving his country to protect us and all of you. How dare he? My son served 11 years in the Marine Corps to protect this country and to keep us safe. I think you ought to do the right thing, and you ought to make him go, because it's horrible. Did he ever serve his country? Did he ever stay up at night and wonder, is your son going to come home in a body bag? Is your husband going to come home in a body bag? I want to know, did he? Because it breaks my heart that that man has to go and listen to this man discriminate him, talk bad about him, and put him down while he's serving his country. It's horrible. Make a change. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else on oral petitions and remarks?
How you doing?
Name and
Michael
address, please.
Zigarelli. I'm not from this residence. I'm from Nutley. All right. And I'd really like to express, I'd like to use all to understand that when the last major operation happened, military-wise, 40% of those people that went over there were reservists or guardsmen. They were part-time volunteers that went over there, okay? We have not had a draft since Vietnam. And the reason that we have not had a draft since Vietnam is because of people like Sergeant Dave Tingle that volunteers to do it. If we don't have those volunteers, I'm sure everybody up here knows, has a son, a daughter, a niece and nephew that's between the ages of 16, 25. And if it wasn't for people like him honorably serving his country, those people that you know of those age would be drafted and be forced. And how would you feel if that happened? It's not right. It's not right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else, oral petitions and remarks? Mr. Joseph.
Joseph Johnson, 407 Durham Avenue. First off, I would like to just congratulate all of the candidates and volunteers who participated in this month's primary election. All of these men have sacrificed their time, energy, and effort to make our community open and inviting for all. Next, I just would like to comment on our law enforcement personnel. I would like to say that I stand behind our military and law enforcement personnel. My father's uncles, aunts, and extended family have all served in the military, and words cannot describe the impact that they have made for our country. I stand here today as a great nephew to a soldier who received the Purple Heart for his sacrifice in World War II. And I cannot begin to fathom the disdain and lack of respect for our officers and personnel and law enforcement personnel. I would just like to thank them all for all their work they have done thus far and continue to do. And following that, on May 30th, 2019, from 7 to 9 p.m. in the Minnie Beeville Community Center in Edison, New Jersey, the first meeting was held for the Edison Youth Civics Group, which included our Edison Town Councilman, Bob Deal, and 2 of our Board of Education members, Ms. Beth Maroney and Mrs. Elizabeth Conway. The purpose of the group is to bridge the gap between our community leaders and our community members, and we certainly did in the first meeting. Our next meeting will be held in late July. And lastly, on July 27th from 2 to 5 p.m., the Lena Harris Foundation is hosting its second annual 3-on-3 basketball tournament, with all the proceeds going to the Lupus Foundation of America and the Lena Harris Foundation Scholarship Fund. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Esther?
I'm going to change the subject, Esther Nemitz, 162B Bay Street. I'm here to complain again, after many years, about the inability to hear these meetings on my TV. I'm so tired, year after year, week after day after month, turning my TV up to 100 and just about being able to hear what goes on in these council chambers, whether it's the council meeting, the planning board, the zoning board, the library board, or anybody else in these chambers. There are other recordings that are played on Channel 15 that are done elsewhere. For example, speaking of veterans, we just had the Veterans Memorials. We have had the Chamber of Commerce with their opioid recordings and also their health fair. I don't have to turn those things up past 40 or 50 to hear them, but they're not recorded in these chambers. Everything that's recorded here is a problem. It has been a problem for years. Several years ago, supposedly you all had some repairs made. It didn't make any difference. And on top of that, those handheld mics run down. The last zoning board meeting, I couldn't hear the end of the meeting because the mic ran down, and they never seemed to get the idea that it's run down, because in the chambers, the guy is talking out loud and they can hear what he's saying, but on TV, you hear absolutely nothing, and the result is I didn't hear the final results of a particular hearing that was being held, that I was paying attention to. I don't know what it's going to take to give you the message that you have got to do something about the recording system in these chambers to make it so that people who are watching TV do not have to turn it up to 100 and still can't hear it properly. And that we can do something about those handheld mics, because they do not last, and people don't remember that they have to either, do something to make them work properly, like recharge them or whatever it is that needs to be done. We need to get something done in these chambers. Thank you very much. I am looking forward to some kind of a change some year, hopefully this year, and hopefully, since we're going to have a budget passed, maybe we can find some money in the new budget to fix this thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Esther. Maureen, can you ask Edison TV to look into it? I know this has been an ongoing issue, so we should try to figure out how to address it. Thank you. Anybody else? Oral petitions and remarks?
I have one more thing.
First-time speakers. Mrs. Tingle.
Hi, Megan Tingle, 86 Thomas Place. I just want to say how scary this is for my family, that this threat comes out that we're going to expose Davey after the election. I am home alone more than he is home. He's out of this country more than he is here, is what I'm trying to say. This is a threat, a direct threat to my family and my husband. And I'm very embarrassed of all of you up there who don't do anything to stand behind Tingle. He is a decorated sergeant man, master sergeant in the U.S. Air Force. I could cry right now of how disgraced I am and how none of you guys do anything. You just sit there because you could probably get away with your political hookups. It is embarrassing to my country and to my husband and to my family. Thank you. And also, I want to say these three could be at home with their family right now who are in my husband's Air Force unit, and they're deploying in 2 weeks. But they're here supporting him. I am sad for this township and how you feel. This is a direct relay of how you feel about my husband and his service. Thank you.
Anybody else? Sorry.
Hello, my name is Sean Malota. I am a non-resident. However, I am here in support of David Tingle, not to distract from any of the issues brought up by current residents. My goal here is to share a little bit of perspective. So I am not law enforcement. I aspire to be and I strive to be law enforcement. However, I didn't know this was an issue until brought to me by both my Master Sergeant Zigarelli and Master Sergeant Tingle. The reason I am here to share my perspective is so you know, as aspiring law enforcement, is this what I have to look forward to when I become a police officer in my township? Is this something that people and young men and women in your township have to look forward to when they want to become law enforcement? Not necessarily saying it's an outrage, but it's a shame. It's disappointment. Because future law enforcement have to come here and they have to think, wow, this is what I have to face here. When I go to my township or when anybody goes to any township in this great state of New Jersey, they have to think to themselves, is this what I'm going to face? Am I going to serve my nation as a senior airman? And am I going to have to choose between my service to my country and my service to my great township? Thank you very much for hearing me. You guys have a wonderful night.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Ms. Orchid?
Thank you, Maria Orchid, 83 Jefferson. We have a couple of parks that are under renovation, but some of the residents don't know what's going on because there's no signs. They don't come to the meeting, they don't see what's going on. Sharing it that a couple of parks are under renovation, but they don't know. And to point out, the school's gonna be finished in 2 weeks, so many of their parents are worried there's no place to play because the parks are under renovation and they're not safe for the kids. So if you could put more information out there to let the residents know which parks are being renovated, when they're going to be finished, and also to remind who's ever doing the work, please watch out for your supplies so the kids can't get hurt. The other thing I want to say is that I fully support Master Sergeant David Tingle. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Maureen, can we put something on the website
Yes.
specific to which parks are reopening soon? Thank you. Anybody else? Do I have a motion to close?
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Meeting stands adjourned.